Lionel, is that you?
There, I think I got it. There was some good stuff.
There was a couple things.
Yeah, there was a couple of good things on there, I thought. Well, Bruce?
Well,
here's a question for you, Lionel.
Well,
since that crack from Mr. Klaiss, what's going to be the first part of this two-parter now?
I'm guessing this is turned into a one-parter now.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, Bruce?
Go ahead.
Is this the first podcast since the last podcast?
Yeah. Let's see. I've got a piece of paper there that says yes. I wrote on the wall a marker. Gene's a little pissed at that, but it does say on my wall and yes. And the cat, the cat's not being much help, but yes.
Here's the key. If you write it in grease pencil, it's a little easier to paint over. If you use a Sharpie, that's a bit harder to cover up.
I use like the big fat permanent marker.
There you go. That's really hard to cover
that
up.
Could be a bit of an issue. Well, I could put a picture over it.
Yeah, or there's some sanding involved.
Yeah. Problem solved.
Just paint the walls black.
There you go. Put blackboard paint up.
Here you go.
Hey, you know what? Let's ask our hardware guy. What grit sandpaper would you use to finally sand your wallboard, your walls, to get some ink off of it?
Your drywall, your final sanding is going to be a 180 to 220.
Oh, okay. So for all you kids out there that want to do some right on the wall and then get rid of it, you're going to need a 180 to 220 grit sandpaper.
Yeah,
but on the negative side, there'll be a big dull patch on the semi-gloss finish. That's there.
Yeah, exactly. The rest of the wall will have a slight texture, but that'll be baby butt smooth.
And when Mom walks in the door and looks down the hall and says, "What the jig is up?"
Can I tell you guys a really stupid Lionel story?
Oh, absolutely.
Please do.
It's one that makes me laugh, because what makes me laugh more than anything else is the idiotic things that I do. And later on, I get to realize how idiotic they were. So my business, driver education in Canada, is somewhat more complicated than it is in the lower 48. And there's many times you have to deal with government officials. And government officials can be somewhat irksome at times. And
that's a good way to put it.
Is that a good way to put it?
That's a very good way to put it. It's a polite way of putting it.
Yeah, don't get too far from your microphone. A polite way. And so there's many times when you're trying to run the business, you're trying to keep it going, and some government official will show up and say, you know, we've made this rule that on Wednesday afternoons you have to do all your grading with a blue pencil rather than a green pencil. And you're like, I'm trying to make a living here. Well, this is what we've decided is the best way to do things from this point forward. And you're like, so anyways, one day I was having one of these conversations, or it had been an ongoing thing for a few days with the government official about a particular thing with my business. And at some point I got, let's say I was somewhat rather irritated. And there was a wall right beside my desk. And I was, as trying to relieve some of the pressure, I just kind of turned to the wall and was just going to, bang it with my fist. And apparently the wall wasn't quite as solid as I had assumed.
Oh.
Quarter-inch
so
drywall.
That's up there with the time you took your abuse out on a phone episode.
Yeah, well, we still have a numerous phones available. Anyways, so I make this dent in the wall. And that wasn't really the smartest thing to do. So I'm like, okay, I'll patch this up. So I patch it up, and then I go to Barbara. I say to Barbara, I say, give me some of the paint. We don't have any of that paint. What? We don't have that paint. That paint's no longer. But we got it at Home Depot. They don't make it anymore. So I go down to Home Depot to get a special color, and the guy would only do a gallon for me. So I had to paint like a 4x4 inch patch, and buy a gallon of paint to paint a 4 inch by 4 inch patch. So
ouch.
Yeah. So that's me being. So it makes me laugh that I was that dopey to do it, but really at the end of the day, I had to spend like $45 for a gallon of paint.
But on the plus side, you got lots of paint over you.
Yeah, I got lots of paint left over.
Yeah, maybe we'll paint the walls in the back classrooms.
I was gonna say you could put Swiss cheese holes throughout the whole building.
Exactly.
Spackle them up and paint the whole thing.
But a highlight to me, we don't have that paint. That's smart, real smart. Everybody ended up looking at me like, really? That's what you came up with? Well, that's me.
For future reference, at my hardware store, we sell Benjamin Moore paint, and we have samples that are $6.
Perfect.
And we can mix them in any color you want, even Home Depot colors.
And whereabouts exactly is your store located?
It's miles and miles away from the frozen tundra.
Right, I understand, but it might be even more. It might be more. If I did that, it might be less irritating than dealing with the people at the local Home Depot.
And you get to see me. And
well, there's a plus, unless you're no longer there by the time he decides he needs to buy paint.
Yeah, that's true.
You drive all that way. Where's Ron? Oh, he quit 3 weeks ago.
Ron's not here, man.
Yeah.
No, I'm Ron.
I guess the punchline I left out was, as I did it.
The punchline was in the wall, wasn't it?
Well, no, Barb looks at me. She goes, well, that was smart. And I'm like, why? Yeah. And I'm like, why? We don't have that paint anymore. So where were we? What store? What's the town near? What's the town that the True Value's in?
It's in Warren, New Jersey.
Warren, New Jersey. Population?
Population. I have no idea what population of Warren is.
Salute. Warren,
a lot. And it's about to grow even more. They're building all kinds of condos and townhouses and stuff. So got about 1,500 more people coming into town.
Is it anywhere near Robesonia, Pennsylvania?
No.
Are you coming to Tom's Talk? Because you're like a featured talker.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Heck yeah, I am. I think I was one of the first ones to sign up in 2020.
I think you were, actually.
Yep, you're pretty high up there on the list.
Do people get numbers for like registration numbers?
No, they're just rows on an Excel sheet.
Oh, okay. But on the left-hand side of the Excel sheet, is there a number?
Yeah.
What number am I?
I think you're like 4 or 5.
I got to be 2 or 3 at least.
I hope
you're up there. I'm in the barn. It's all the Tom Stock documentation is on the computer in the house. So.
I gotta check.
Make sure you freeze my my panel so it'll stay on the screen all the time.
There you go.
Right.
The Excel sheet.
Apparently, Warrenville Paint and Hardware is big city offerings with small town feel.
Oh, okay.
There's an impress at the wall of Warrenville's nuts and bolts and fasteners. A picture of a wall of. If you want nuts, bolts, and fasteners, here's your place to go. Look at them.
I took that picture a couple months ago. It's about 45 feet or so of nuts, bolts, and the guy that the rep that helped build that out when we moved it and redid that wall, he goes, this is in some of the Midwest towns, they have double that, where they just like the square foot prices and stuff are dirt cheap out there, and they just can dedicate a whole 2 sides of a aisle to nuts and bolts. They'll have 80 feet of nuts and bolts, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. I thought we had a lot. He's like, yeah, it's a lot for this area, but not for the Midwest.
Do you have any True Value? What's True Value? Does True Value have a saying? Some sort of snappy slogan?
Oh, geez. It's been years since they've used it. I don't remember it. It's been years.
Did you say Warren, New Jersey?
Yep.
Okay. I'm typing too. I haven't found it yet. I'm still looking.
Warren.
Warren. That's what I put in, Warren, but I got to put in New Jersey, I guess.
You can put Warrenville Hardware if you'd like, if you really want to see where I work.
Well, I do.
Everybody can stop by and I'll gladly help you.
609 Mountain Boulevard, Warren, New Jersey.
That's correct. They've been there for...
I got a Warrenville, Illinois.
There you go. That's definitely not... It's a heck of a commute for me.
Yeah.
Behind every project is a True Value.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. All right. There it is. I found it.
There's questions on the Google search. Do you repair windows or do you repair screens for sliding glass patio doors?
Yes, we do. Mm-hmm.
And do you cut glass?
Yes, we do.
Oh, there you go.
I sharpen chainsaws. We cut keys. I do plexiglass. We mix custom paints. We have in-house color consultants and designers and all kinds of fun stuff.
I found the Facebook page. It's got a 4.5 Google rating on the Facebook. Here's a customer testimonial. Great paint section, fair prices on all seasonal needs, and a competitive local hardware store when benchmarked against the big box stores. From Ross. Ross said that.
Well, what's your most popular Weber grill?
Would probably be I think it's Weber changes their numbers every year. It's hard to keep track. SP 330 or 335, something like that.
Right.
Yeah, it's one of the 3-burner Genesis that they have.
All right.
Yeah, it's one that I have. It's a really good grill. It's not too huge. They have some huge ones, but it's not real tiny. But it's a good sweet spot for a grill.
I'm a kettle kind of guy.
Yeah, I used to have a kettle when I was in a condo, which is funny because I would think propane or natural gas grill would probably be safer.
Yeah.
Than just burning charcoal in the back of your yard, but they allowed charcoal grills and not propane grills. So
grill. Before we had the incident at the house a couple of years ago, there was a spot on the deck where there was some burning of the deck boards caused by coals that dropped out the bottom, and I didn't notice and going, better get the hose on that.
There seems to be a kind of a pattern here.
Yeah.
All right.
Keep fires away from me.
Fire safety.
Yeah, keep fire away from Bruce. Yeah. Well, that was. I can't believe this is actually a show. Tom, can you believe this is a show?
It sounds more like a commercial for Warrenville Hardware.
It does.
This episode brought by Warrenville Hardware.
Yeah, if you notice your sales going up over the next after June 13th, I'm going to want a piece of that.
Sure, absolutely.
If you're in northern New Jersey and you need a nut or a bolt or a fastener, stop by Warrenville Hardware.
See the big wall of nut bolts and fasteners.
We're all nuts here.
That's for a head nut guy, Ron.
Yeah. 12 minutes and 30 seconds we've killed. All right. So this particular episode we open up with for the segment from Ron Klaiss, who is also here in the intro. And it's all about mind mount models and their newest release, which came out a week or so ago, called McQuirk's Coal. McQuirk's Coal. Yep. And it's got does it come with a truck? Does it come with a vehicle?
No, it does not.
It does not come with a vehicle. We found that out in the interview. Ron refuses to put vehicles in his kits.
Well, they got to bump up the price. I'm going to try and keep it at a reasonable price.
I got a question for you, but you know what? We'll save that for the outro.
All right.
Tom, can you move us on to the first segment, please?
Subway chimes, go!
And there it is, Bruce, just like I said it would. I pushed the button.
There you go.
Can we hear you, Tom? Tom, can we hear you, Tom?
Lionel, come in, Lionel.
Go ahead, Tom.
Can you hear me, Major Tom?
So let's go with my thing first, because I'll ask Ron.
All right.
Ron, turn your camera off there, buddy. You're a beautiful man. You're a very attractive man. But
for his age.
Yeah, for his age.
My age just went up.
Ron,
I know. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, you're 50 now, 50-ish. 10 more years, buddy.
Same age as Peter Borchards.
Here's the problem with aging. When you get to 57, you're going to be thinking through 51, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're like, I'm okay. I still got like most of my 50s to go.
Yeah.
At 55, you go, I'm halfway there to 60. And at 57, you think, I'm still okay. I'm still okay. At 58, that's when the panic sits in.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's like you're sitting in that car on the roller coaster and you're going up the hill and you hear the clanking of the chain drive and you're like, it's okay. And then you get to that very top and then you have that second of silence when you're off the chain, but before you start plummeting over the edge that you're like, uh-oh.
That's right.
What have I gotten myself into? I should have taken better care of myself.
Because, Tom, you're in your early 70s, are you not?
I was born in the early 70s. I'm 51.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that, buddy.
Have either of you guys seen a doctor lately?
Yeah.
I'll probably be I'll probably have the health of someone in their early 70s after July 17th.
Yeah,
I bet you will. Yes.
Hey, how about that poster that we massaged? Though I think that's turning out pretty good.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so Tom and I were working on the poster that our buddy William Bill Sampson has made for us. And but he originally made it for Tom Stock 2020, which of course is what we're having. Yeah. But the dates have changed and a few other things have changed. So then Tom and I were working on the poster, and I was trying to think of a way of explaining all these changes to Bill. And I'm thinking, I hate typing. I hate writing emails. And I'm thinking, oh my God, there's so much that we got to change or things we want to change and blah, 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 blah. The basic poster was going to stay the same, but there was 3 or 4 or 5 things that were going to change. And I'm sitting here thinking, And that's my problem. When I get to a job I don't want to do, I come to a grinding halt. And I think to myself, oh, there's a race on iRacing in about 10 minutes. Why don't I just go do that? Then I'll come back to the problem.
Oh, the final round of the golf tournament's on. Why don't I go watch that?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, wait a minute. I could drive to Dairy Queen and get a teeny tiny blizzard. That won't hurt me.
There you go. Or I could hop on the bike and go up to Sturgeon Falls and get some fries.
Exactly. There's any number of things you come up with.
Yes.
Oh, I think I could. You know what? I've been wanting to clean that second shelf in the refrigerator for quite a while now. So anyway,
that's a stretch.
Come on. Yeah.
Because as soon as you open the door and see it waving back at you, go, yee, not today.
Well, you're trying to. So I hate typing emails. The email is like, ask Shane Wilson from Scale Trains. He actually said, I answer emails slower than the Pony Express. So anyways, Ron.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
And I'd like an honest answer from you if at all possible.
I try and be honest as possible.
Okay. Do you not feel that we try to be as transparent here on the old AML network as much as possible?
Like a pane in the glass.
There you go. Like a pane in the glass or a pane of glass.
Well, I see what he did there.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I saw what he did there.
That's called wordplay, gentlemen.
Yeah. So my dog.
Hey, this is a family show.
Yes, my dog, the lovely Lucy, is 15 and a half years old.
Oh, good for Lucy.
Yeah, well, she's in the last 3 or 4 months, she's starting to really show her age. But she loves to go for walks, so I was out taking her for a walk. And then when I got back to the house, I thought, it's we're going to do a podcast tonight, right at this exact moment. And it's still light out. And I was thinking to myself, podcasting in the summer is not as easy as podcasting in the winter because it's still light out. And
just go sit on your deck by the pool if you wanted to.
No, but I wouldn't do a podcast from there.
No, well,
it's still light out. I'm used to doing podcasts when it's dark.
Right.
It's like, hey, let's get together tonight. So anytime in the winter, anytime after 6 o'clock, you're good to go.
But I need to get a headphone cord that will stretch from my computer to the hot tub.
There you go.
They always say AML after dark.
AML after dark, exactly. But we digress. Bruce has an even better question.
Yes. The question, and Tom Jacobs is the same situation. The question we have is our hair, in my case, beard, is gray, but our eyebrows are still dark. Why?
Well, and I have an addition to that. For many, many years, my hair was black, my mustache was black, but the bottom of my beard was gray. And I actually had guys ask me if I dyed it that way to make it look like that. And it was like, no, I don't. It's just, that's the way it is. I had gray temples and I had a gray bottom of my goatee was gray,
right.
But the part above my lip was black and most of my hair was black. And guys would go, do you do that on purpose? Yeah,
that's right. I figure using the Grecian Formula 16.
Yeah. Do I look like, Bruce, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do we not try to be as transparent as possible here on the old AML network?
Yes, we do. As Ron Klaiss said, like a pane in the glass.
Yeah, exactly. How many years have we known each other? 30 plus?
Both 32, I'm thinking now.
Yeah,
1990,
30 plus.
I think in fall 90 we first met somewhere in there.
And I want an honest answer. Has at any time in that 32 plus years, has personal grooming seemed like it was a priority for me?
No.
So I have never. No, I don't die. I didn't die. It was just gray, guys. That's all. So why
it just works that way?
It just works that way. So why is it? Why are Ron? You make excellent models. Your laser cut kits and everything are spectacular. Do you know why Bruce's eyebrows would be dark and yet his beard is gray?
They haven't been stressed out from the kids as much. I don't know. I have no idea.
I wonder if there's any geneticists in the AML Nation could answer this question.
This sounds like a question for Nick Santo.
Oh, Nick might know.
I don't know. Nick likes. Who is it that likes to answer? Well, who?
Either Nick Santo or Rich Wisniewski.
This is a question for the Wiz. Yes, this is definitely. We're going to get an email from the Wiz about this. Absolutely, no doubt about it.
Perfect.
I always heard that the gray hair was the gray matter leaking out of your head.
Oh, really?
Maybe you don't.
What does it mean when you got no hair then?
It's empty.
It's over and done.
You've run out.
Yeah, you're great.
This kind of explains a lot then.
Yeah, exactly.
Leaked out the top and slid down the chin.
This is going to be aired on today is actually June the 13th, Monday, June the 13th. So I suspect that no later than, say, Thursday the 16th of June, would be 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th of, I suspect that no later than June the 16th, we'll be getting an email from the Wiz explaining to us what the answer to that question.
Well, there we go. I'll mark that on my calendar.
Yeah, so to detail, Rich, just so you've got it all, you understand where we're at. I want to know why my beard was gray, but my hair was black, and Bruce wanted to know why his beard is gray and his eyebrows are still dark. So if you could get on that. I
also want to know why Lionel's older than me, still has black hair, and I don't.
Yeah, that's from my mother's side.
Ah.
And also, Rich could answer the question of what we should do about podcasting in the summer, because I spent many, many years on the golf course, and it would be not uncommon to see me trudging up the 18th hole on June the 24th of the last glimmers of light. Thinking, I didn't hit that one perfectly. Let me hit another one.
Yeah, that's right. When I worked in Edmonton back in the early to mid 80s, it was not uncommon for some of the guys I worked with would get a tee off time for 5:30 or 6 or so in the morning, get 9 holes in before they came into work.
Yeah, that's not unusual here either. And I got up once at 5:30, scared.
But then again, it wasn't dark till about 10:30 at night in the summer. So
yeah, I got up once at 5:30, scared the hell out of me.
Did you? Did you go back to bed?
Yeah, I was like, "What the heck?
What is this ungodly hour?" Yeah.
I thought it was just magic. I would go to bed and then I'd wake up and it'd be like 7:30, 8 o'clock, or 9 o'clock, or even 10.
Yeah.
So, Ron, why did you stop by?
Why did I stop by?
Yeah,
I heard there was new shrimp in the room.
Yeah, Ron's asking himself the same question.
Hey,
Why did I stop by?
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what tweaked to me to say, "Hey, let's get Ron back on the show," is our buddy Patrick Lavallee, who's a avid AML listener, had posted on the page that he was putting together some of the Mind Mount Models racks for his local club.
Yeah, they look cool.
Yeah,
interesting design.
Or is there different designs that you can do with the racks?
Well, he made them a couple of them really wide, and I'm wondering what he's using them for. I'm curious to see what he's going to put in those things.
Can you make
usually
them?
They're closer, you know.
Oh, yeah. Can you make them different widths?
Yeah, I suggest that you put them about 9 feet apart, which is a normal like pallet rack, 9 to 10 feet.
Oh,
because otherwise the bars would in prototype it would sag if they're too far apart. So if you make it 9 feet, it can hold a 10-foot pipe or something.
It's like particle board. If you use particle board, it'll sag.
This is true.
Yeah, it is. Picnic tables, a 4-pack, HO scale, $8.
No, there you go.
What a bargain! They're a big deal on the show market there. I got these 3 brothers that come in from when I went to the Timonium show, or even in Springfield. They showed up in Springfield and in the snow, and they came from, I think they're from Maryland area down near Timonium, and they love my picnic tables. They just scarf them up. I don't know what they do with them. I guess they taste good.
They're crunchy with no aftertaste.
They're small little bite size.
What is the most popular thing you sell?
It is the assembly jig fixture.
The assembly jig fixture for rafters and stairs?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, actually, you know what? Let's see. Maybe that might have changed. I'll go to most popular. Nope. It's still the fixture.
Oh, look at him. Look at somebody's computerized.
Yep.
He's looking at the inventory right now going, why am I making that? There's 500 sitting on the shelf and I've sold one.
I do need more Pinellas. I sold out of Pinellas the other day.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. What is Pinellas? Let me see. Let me find it.
Petrol,
gas station.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. Cool. And so how many would you make? So when you go to make more of them, it's a $50 kit. How many would you make?
So since I'm in the process of making them, I'll probably make 10 to 12. Okay.
Is that like roughly how many you'll make of a particular, roughly of the structures? You'll make a dozen at a time?
Yeah, that's about the space I have on the shelf right now. I'll be expanding my my shop down in the basement soon. Nowhere near Midwest Models Railroad, not that kind of expansion yet, but I'm taking over a whole other side of the basement and making that my shipping area. And I already have shelving and racks and stuff there, so I can store more inventory on the racks.
So do you think you'd have more kits then of the same thing? Like you'll end up making when you run Wilson's mustard, you'll run more than just 10 or 12.
Yeah. At least a gross every time.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They fly off the shelf.
I bet. And Tom's top dog as well.
Oh yeah, they all go. Tom's is very popular.
There you go. How long does it take you to put a kit together when you run it?
Yeah, I'm ignoring you, Tom. I'm ignoring you too. So it's okay.
That's okay. I'm used to it.
Real quick, I'll answer Mr. Wilson's question. Depending on the size of the kit, I can get it, knock them out in a day or two. The bigger kits might take two because they take a lot of parts and a lot of laser time.
Right.
But sometimes the way they lay out on the sheets when I cut them out of the materials, sometimes I'll get enough leftover where if I make 10 or 12 of a kit, I'll have some leftover parts because I don't use them all in the sheets. Like I might get one part will have 6 pieces in a sheet and one part will have 10 pieces in a sheet. So the one with 10 pieces, I'll have like 4 pieces left over. So it kind of makes it quicker for the next time that the product is produced. So it all depends. It takes about a day.
It takes a day to make like 12 Wilson's mustards. Yeah,
and that's casually making them. If I really put the nose to the grindstone and did it, I could probably do it much quicker. But I got to throw in lunch and stuff like that.
And what would lunch be on a day when you're making Wilson's mustard?
Usually, I'll do something on the grill, either a hamburger or a couple hot dogs, or like I had some smoked bratwurst the other day. That was pretty good.
Do you put them under the laser and engrave them as to they're hot or mild?
I could do that. I could do an engraved Tom's Top dog.
Whoa!
I'll bring it to the Tom stock. It'll be a little green by that time, but
engraved AML dogs for the barbecue.
Yeah, that would be sweet. That's what we need. We need like
actually, it would be engraved or be etched.
It'd be etched, engraved or etched. Either one. Etching's probably usually metal, so we're going to say engraved.
What is it they do to cows? They brand them. We need
brand them.
Yeah, we need an AML Nation brand and put that right on the hot dog.
Oh, okay. You're saying, all right, if it's on the hot dog, okay. I hope you're not suggesting.
Tom is running for the backfield right there, going, whoa, hold on a minute.
I think
you want to start branding super fans or something.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I nominate Kelly to go first.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll try it on Kelly. We'll try it. Yeah, let's try it on Kelly first.
It's really hot. My butt hurts now.
I can't sit down with my radar gun.
He's tonight there's a live steamers meeting, and guess who's running it?
Yes.
I mean, doesn't he run all the meetings there?
It's just him. There is no other membership. It's just him.
That's right. and he's holding himself. He's in contempt, or he's going to censor. He's going to censor himself.
I'm out of order.
No, you're not. Yes, I am.
Why is that not really surprise? That actually has. That's.
Let's run it up the flagpole and see if I salute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, Tom, you had a question.
Not so much a question as just a wry observation that I love the irony of Wilson's mustards when Bruce is a known proponent of ketchup.
Yes.
Exactly.
But if I look at my refrigerator, I do have about 8, 9 different types of mustards in there.
There you go. Nice. I think I only have 3.
Well, how about this for irony? There's a new kid out, McQuirk's. What is it? McQuirk's?
McQuirk Coal.
Yeah, there's a new kid out, McQuirk Coal. There's still a Strang. There's nothing named Strang or Lionel's
limos,
anything.
No Strang cycles.
Strang cycles. There's nothing. Nada. What's the deal with that? Like, what have you? I got a feeling you guys are behind this somehow.
He's building the excitement.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's it.
Okay.
It'll be
clamoring for more, and finally we'll be out.
It'll be my first custom run. My limited run series will be a Strang kit, and I'll run 1.
Yeah, there you go. Where do I? So this is like I said. So okay. So by now, McQuirk's Coal has been released to the public.
Yes, by June 13th, Monday. You got to pay attention there, average Don. Monday, June 13th. Yes, McQuirk's will definitely be out and be shipping out to all the eagerly waiting customers.
And do the customers know they're eagerly waiting, or they're just going to find out?
Oh, they're chomping at the bit. Just the little hints and sneak peeks that I've been putting out.
Oh, really? You've been putting out sneak peeks and things?
Yeah, occasionally. Yeah, even on that Patrick Lively's post, I put a little picture that I actually
picture.
That was this afternoon. I was taking some of the glam shots and finishing that up so I can get some of the labeling done.
Is that what it is? Glam shots?
Yeah, there's little shops that used to be in the malls, and they had glamour shots or something like that, where the women would go there and get all decked out and get these glam shots, and that's what I do. I call my pictures the glam shots.
That's sort of a term. You get the glamour shots, yeah.
Oh, that was just for women?
Huh? Well, I mean, I'm sure that I've seen a lot of those crazy pictures online where the guys are like holding their cats and they're wearing like sweater vests and stuff.
Yeah,
and they got like the disco lights in the back. They're glam shots.
Oh, okay.
Well, we shouldn't be talking about Chris Adams like that, though.
I feel better now. I realize now that you've told me they weren't just for women.
You can find all of those at awkwardfamilyphotos.com.
Oh, yes. There you go.
All right. I'm going to go to Mind Mount Models Facebook page.
Okay. Here's a question for those who are eagerly awaiting the release of McQuirk's Coal. What is included in McQuirk's Coal?
McQuirk's is going to be the scale house, and then the other main building would be the 3-bay coal bins. They were inspired by information that Marty McQuirk actually gave me after talking to him back in Timonium back in last October. That fiasco with the whole hotel in my last little interview that I had.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So he saw by the Pinellas gas station, and he said, "Oh, that could be that would make a really good scale house for old town coal dealer." So I was like, "Sure, that sounds pretty cool." So I ended up modifying Pinellas a little bit and adding a whole coal bin and like scale plates and other mini coal bins and stuff around it and other materials. That's how I came up with McQuirk's. And the other thing that's coming with it is a conveyor, like an aggregate conveyor to move the coal up into the trucks and stuff like that, and from underneath. So I actually designed my own conveyor. I'm pretty proud of it. It looks really good, I think. And they'll be sold separately from the kit, but you'll get a discounted price when you buy it with the kit, or you can buy as many as you want. If you want to buy 100 of them separately, then it's a regular price.
Here's the conveyor posted on April 7th on the Mind Mount Models Facebook page. The conveyor prototype build is done. Now to finish up the directions. The kit will be available soon, along with McQuirk Coal Dealer. Wow. There you go. You could have gone with Lionel's Lumpy Coal.
Lionel's Lumps.
Yeah, I was going to say. Actually, that's what I was going to say.
Strang Cycles. There is a place in New York, upstate New York, that I saw that would make a good Strang Cycles, but I just can't do that.
No, you can't. You could, but you just don't want to.
Well, the check. I'm still waiting on the check.
Yeah.
Here's a question: with your McQuirk Coal, have you thought about including a vehicle in it? I know Sylvan Skill Models has all sorts of great trucks and stuff like that. Have you thought about including one of those in with the kit, or no?
As of right now, no, because then the price would have to get bumped up a lot.
Right.
And usually, if you have to buy something like that from an outside vendor, you have to buy them in lots of 100 or something like that. And I don't want to get stuck with, with a whole bunch of extra trucks that, I'd have to end up selling them separately. So from my point of view, as of right now, it's not economically feasible to include trucks and stuff like that, or people sets or anything like that, unless I got a lot more sales and really good deals on those products, good discounts from the vendor themselves.
So when you say stuck with 100 of them, you don't feel very confident that McQuirk Coal is going to sell that well?
I was waiting for you to say that.
Yeah, well, yeah. You're used to
you opened the door and you pounced on it, pounded it down the third baseline.
Hard-hitting questions.
Hard-hitting questions, only hard.
You can always bundle them in with proto throttles.
There you go.
There you go.
So let me ask you, how do you, without telling us more than you want to tell us, how do you determine the price of a kit like this? Like, what will McQuirk Coal go for? Now that they've been flying off the shelves, what will McQuirk Coal go for?
The main kit with the two structures and all the details and stuff would be $80.
And how do you figure that out?
Basically, it's just the materials and the time that it takes to design it and make it up. It's not so. I mean, the materials obviously do cost a lot, but it's more of my time and how much time did I basically put into designing it and building the kit and all that stuff. I want to get some kind of return on that.
Well, sure, absolutely. Nobody expects you to do it for free. That's one of my bugaboos of, like when we talked to our buddy Rob Arsenault, and I know he's listening. He's probably, man, did you see that painting he finished there, Bruce? Just
the one he's working on. Yes, that's a
sweet.
Beautiful shot. The guy is super talented. Obviously.
Super talented. Rob, you are super talented, buddy. Put down that airbrush right this minute and give yourself a little pat on the back. And I hope you're wearing one of your AML t-shirts. So how do you, because that's one of my bugaboos is, for some reason or other, a lot of the smaller manufacturers always feel like they've got to justify or apologize for the price. And $80 doesn't seem unreasonable to me because there is a lot involved in this. I mean, the planning, the designing, the building, the parts, the pieces. I mean, that's all part of the deal. So, I think $80 sounds quite reasonable, so
that is reasonable, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, somehow you have to determine. You keep track is it like as you're building the very first one, you're going, okay, I needed a piece of this and a piece of that, and you kind of keep a running total or something.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I have I actually just use Post-it notes because I stick right to my workbench as I'm building it. And, I for all the extra little parts that are like the strip woods and all that stuff, I keep check marks of how much I use per kit. And it's kind of easy with the sprues, I guess you would call them, when I cut them out of big sheets. Let's say if it's a 6x6 sprue part, that's going to be like 1/12 of a sheet of material. Usually it all depends what the material is. Sometimes it's 6 inches wide, sometimes it's 12 by 24 inches wide. So that's why I was saying earlier, you have like leftover parts because some materials are bigger than other materials, and I can only get certain amounts of parts out of those pieces. And then I just keep a running tally as I'm building the prototype, basically.
Can I ask a question?
Nah. Right. Next.
Do you like me personally? I would never be any good at this business because keeping tally of how much of this piece, this material I use, and how much of that I would be like me. Bruce knows me. I'd give up like about after the fourth piece, and I'd say, "Well, I don't know what it costs, whatever it costs." And a good example of that is now that I'm mailing most of the shirts from the stateside. Thank God I don't fill out those export forms anymore. I could have mailed them I could mail them on UPS just in the packages for some of them would be cheaper, some of them would be more. And then there's an economy pack that's like $8.40. But for $9.85, you get this nice bubble pack, and I could just shove everything in there. And it's like, yeah, I'll just spend $1.50. I don't, just whatever, like, oh, but this one would only cost $4 to set. I don't care. Just everything, put everything in the bubble pack. So that's the kind of guy I am. So do you enjoy that sort of thing? What is the thing you enjoy the most of this? How long have you been in business now?
It is going to be 3.5 years. 3.5 years.
Can I ask you a question, Bruce? Tom?
Tom has left the building.
Oh, Tom's left. Oh, he's sending several messages though. Bruce, I'll ask you this question then.
Go ahead.
Do we not try to be as transparent as possible here?
Yes, and yes.
Did I just actually ask a question, or did I just ramble on there for the last couple of minutes?
It was hard to tell, but I do believe there's an interrogatory verse included in the rambling.
Oh, okay. So I guess my question was, what's the part you enjoy the most? Do you enjoy the keeping track of the supplies? Do you enjoy the making of the kits? Like what part do you enjoy? What part do you enjoy the most, and what part is kind of like a pain in the butt?
The most enjoyable part is definitely building the dioramas. That's how it all started, was me building kits and going, these would be really neat kits to sell. My least favorite, and will always be, the directions.
Which is odd, because they are spectacular.
Yeah, your directions are great.
I hear that, and it blows my mind when I hear that every time. It's like doing a school report every time, and I hate doing school reports. Can you relate?
Well, why don't we? You know what? Why don't we start sending emails? Why don't we start sending emails back and forth to each other?
Oh yeah. There we go. Absolutely. No, definitely I like doing the dioramas. I mean, designing it in the CAD programs and stuff, that's pretty enjoyable. That's okay, figuring it out and working all little bugs out. But building the dioramas, the actual kit part of it, I love. And over the past few days, I was finalizing the scenery on the actual on my Gurks, and that was very enjoyable. That's why I got all the pictures out and stuff.
So in reality, every kit that Mind Mount Models sells, what's your short form for? Is it Triple M? Hey, I like that.
Yeah,
every Triple M kit. Ooh, look at that.
There you go. Rolls off the tongue.
That rolls off the tongue. You'll be getting a bill in the mail pretty soon. So every kit is basically scratch built.
Yep.
Right? Because you come up with the idea and then you make it your own. And so every kit, what is the material you use to scratch build the original kit?
It's basswood. It's Mount Albert scale clapboards and scribe wood. There's laser board. There's 3D printed stuff. There's plywoods, micro plywoods, all different things. It's funny. Every time I build one, and now that I have rejoined the NMRA, I was sitting there going, I could probably easily get some points for at least a master model railroad or structure building or something like that.
Yep. In fact, Rick Hunter at Hunterline asked that question many years ago, because although he's selling the kits, the original thing he scratch built, so it's right up there. You can look at them and throw them in the AP for evaluation.
Nice.
Your two things here. Your two on your website. If you go to how tos, you have random stone painting and cedar shake shingles painting.
Say that passport.
Cedar shake shingles painting.
By the seashore?
Yeah, by the seashore.
Cedar shake shingles by the seashore?
Oh
boy.
Those two sets of directions are spectacular, and I've heard that numerous times. But you know what it is? You're probably like me. It's why I try to make, when I'm on the podcast and I get annoyed at people and I'm like, and where is that? And what is this? And blah, blah, blah. Because you understand that not everybody realizes what it is they're supposed to do. So that's what makes it so. Your business is going like way better than you imagined?
Yes, it is. I'm looking to cut back on my day job so I can dedicate more time to it.
Wow, that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, I'm The thing is, I'm kind of at an impasse where I'm putting a lot of time in, to the company, but unless I get a couple extra more days of just almost acting like 9 to 5, or maybe for you it would be noon to 9.
Wow, that one went right over the bow.
It's going to be hard to grow it faster than as fast as I want to. So that'll be an interesting conversation with my boss.
Yeah, but Ace will still be the place.
Well, hopefully not, because I'm a true value guy.
Oh, that's right. I knew that. I knew that.
Test me, making sure I know where I work.
Yeah, that's right. I was testing you. See if you remembered where you worked. What an idiot I am. I am really, seriously, I am dumber than a stick of butter. I really am. Can you imagine it? Can you imagine if we had like just one single producer to help me act like I had any idea what was going on? That would be so much better.
I've had some pretty good conversations with Butter.
Ooh.
So,
I can't believe it's not Butter.
Yeah, I can't believe it's not Butter. This is very cool. Very, very cool. Anyways, we're slowly running out of network time. We only had allotted like a half an hour for you. But of course, you'll be on the show many, many more times as the years go by. Is there one thing you wanted to... so let's remind everybody, and for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, you go to mindmountmodels.com. And if you go to that you'll go to the homepage and boom, you'll be brought... This is a good website. You'll be brought to the website. There's all kinds of kits. There's Wilson's Mustard. There's Willie's Good Time Tavern. Paulser's Plumbing Supply. What's the kit that sells better than you could have imagined?
Actually, the sheds are doing better than I thought.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. That was actually something I saw. When did you release that? The sheds?
Sheds a couple months ago. I released six sheds all at once.
Yeah.
And I had these designs laying around, and I was kind of designing them here and there. And so I sat down and I need something small and quick. I said, how about 6 small and quick things? So I quickly designed them. I made some generic directions instead of individual directions for each one. So that made it a little bit quicker. Because they're all basic kind of 4 walls and roofs and stuff like that. Some of them have a little bit more features to them and stuff like that, but they went pretty quick and they're selling really well. Yeah. Actually, I just got a new order just now as we were chit-chatting.
There you go.
Guess what they were for?
Sheds.
No, the industrial racks and the
racks, the jig, the fixture. The fixture. The sheds. Have you thought about bundling the sheds all 6 for a price, or they're just going?
Yeah, I was going
to worry about it.
I was going to do right now they're the individuals, and I was going to do it into a 3-pack or a 6-pack. So you get a little price break with 3 or 6 packs.
Yeah, you could do 2 different 3-packs and 1 6-pack. There you go.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this question.
Go ahead, sir.
Bruce, I think you know where I'm going with this.
Possibly.
Yeah. So,
but I've been surprised before.
All right. Well, let me know when we get to the end if this is what you you thought this is what I was thinking. Okay. If you were with a friend, say that traveled from Europe, and you guys decided to watch trains, and you went into the beer store to get a 6-pack, would you split it with them? Would you split the price with them, or would you just buy the 6-pack?
I'd buy a 6-pack for me and buy a 6-pack for him.
Wow.
Or her.
Oh, nice one. Good answer. So you'd buy 2 6-packs and not expect your friend that's visiting to pay.
Well, they're gonna get dinner. I'm just getting the beer.
Oh, well, there you go. I like that angle. I bought the pre-dinner drinks. Come on, pony up for the meal.
Yeah, I like that. You get them
steak and shrimp.
It's like you get them. Yeah, that's why we're here. We're seeking shrimp and knowledge, or knowledge and shrimp. That was from Mike, our little buddy, Little Mike. I
like the shed number 6. The shed number 6 is kind of nice looking.
I like number 5 or number 2. I guess it's number 2.
Right, let me go.
You've got them numbered backwards here. It goes 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wouldn't it go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
Put them in order by name then. I don't know.
Okay.
But what it was is probably you're looking at it newest. So I put them in. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 is the newest.
Yeah, perhaps you bought a 6-pack when you were doing this part of the website.
That's all about the 6-pack.
Yeah, number 5 is a nice looking one too.
That's That I actually saw in one of my neighbor's backyards. I was driving home from work, and I my head jerked around as I was driving home. Like, what the heck was that? And I quickly turned down a side street and saw this little shed in the back. I'm like, oh, that's a really cool one. I'll add that to the collection, because originally it was going to be 5.
I like number 2.
Number 2
kind of looks like Tom's barn.
Yeah, well, no, it just looks like every standard mid-50s.
Every standard garage used to be in the 50s.
Yeah.
That one's kind of based off of, actually, no, number 3 is based off of one in my backyard, pretty much.
Oh. How many acres? What are you running, like about a 60-acre spread there?
No.
I had another question, but I can't remember what it was. Couldn't have been that good.
We're going to be coming out. Well, I'm going to be coming up with more videos. I'm going to try and rejuvenate my YouTube channel and do more videos. I've been putting out the videos of my new products, basically of the products just spinning around and with a description and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But I'm going to try and do some of the My Mount minutes, the how-tos that I have, and make a couple like video versions of that, and do more Facebook Lives, where it'd be just like a quick, this is how I do this type of thing. Because a lot of people ask how I painted something, or how I get my shingles to look the way I make them look, and different things like that. Even just painting or showing how like some of the newer 3D printed objects, the details and stuff that I've been coming up with. Just to show how they get printed, because people they're curious about 3D printing, but a lot of people don't know how it works.
Bruce, have you got yours going yet?
Not yet.
Have you taken it out of the box yet?
No.
How about Tom?
But you're thinking about it.
At some point, yeah. I'm trying to get a backlog of projects out of the way, then I can start screwing around with that. But I did after we talked to who do we talk to? We talked to our friend Bernard and Scott Thornton, and I had a nice chat with him after you left about how they're doing 3D printing and stuff, and got some interesting tips from them. So I just need to start working on some more drawings and get them figured out, and then figure out what I want to do.
Yeah, I think I left in a huff, didn't I? No, I left in a...
I thought it was a Nash Rambler.
Yeah, that's right. It was a Nash Rambler. Let me see. When is that one coming up? Today is, let's see. Today is June the 13th. That one is going to be, let's see, next... I got the list right here. I started making lists so that I can...
Mini Prince is a going concern.
It is a going concern.
Kidding. Yeah, he's excellent.
See. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, his 3D drawing capability is far surpassed mine at this point in time.
That Scott Thornton interview will come out on the first Monday in July.
There we go.
Which is a couple of weeks from now, actually.
Oh, is it going to be the free channel or the Patreon channel?
That'll be on the free channel. It's an episode.
Oh, it's an episode. Okay.
Yeah. It'll be
I had an episode the other night.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I think we're going to stop now, Ron. Is that okay?
Sure.
But you know what you can do? This is going to be the first segment of a 2-segment show, where the first segment is going to be Mind Mount models. And then it's going to be followed by, right after this, we're going to listen to Keith Revell of KR Models.
KR Models.
Is that what it is?
The guys of the Shay.
Yeah, the guys with the Shay, anyways.
It's a nice looking Shay.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced. Kidding. I'm still not convinced it's going to happen, but I'm going to buy one or two or a dozen when it does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, KR Models. Yeah, so after this is going to be KR Models. So can you do me a favor, Ron?
I know exactly what to do.
All right, go for it, buddy.
Subway chimes, go.
Okay, Bruce and Scott Duke / Lister. The Duke.
The Duke.
What was I talking about today when you took that picture? You just took a picture of what you were doing. What was I talking about?
You told me I am now the Springfield table master.
Yeah, you're the table master. Ooh,
there we go. I like that. That's better than what we had rambling on. That's good.
Yeah, and I was pretty proud of that. So I said, you know what? He said, take a picture of what I was doing right now, and I did.
Hey, did you make that certificate yet, Bruce?
Not yet, but it's going to have Table Master on it now.
Table Master. There you go, man. That's what he is. He's the Table Master.
Yeah, there you go.
I
Boy,
love
we are going to have it done right now. I'm just so glad I'm actually in charge of something now.
You're not in
Well, you always been sort of in charge of chaos, confusion, mayhem, and shenanigans, haven't you?
Well, yeah, but at Springfield, my God, where else? I mean, we'll just be able to drive right in now and not worry. I'll just tell them I'm the table master. It's too bad.
You can call from the road, and they'll have the doors open for you with
exactly
all the crowds peeled away, so you can drive right in over to the table and unload the 25 pallets of cheese balls, and away we go.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, this is going to be absolutely fabulous.
I think maybe
that's what we're hoping.
Maybe we should, have some like for those door magnets for the car that say Table Master. AML.
You know what? I'm going to have some of those made.
Yeah.
I am. Yeah.
AML.
But you know what? A lot of cars are plastic now.
Yeah, I don't think the doors on my car are plastic.
I have those magnets for my my stuff and my pickup truck. Everything's plastic except the tailgate.
Really?
Yep. I slapped that bad boy on the door and it just slid right off. And I'm like, what the heck? And then I tried to stick it on the side of the bed and it wouldn't stick. And I went around and I said, well, I'll just put it on the tailgate. Even the hood is plastic. Can you believe that?
Well,
is it plastic or aluminum?
Yeah, it's aluminum, I think.
Aluminium.
Yeah, aluminum.
Yeah, our guest is.
Yeah, I thought it. I think
that place.
I don't think Chevrolet's aluminum, is it?
No. Okay. I know my Ford is.
Yeah, this is some kind of.
Because when I bought it, the guy was trying to interest me in arrest-proof programs. Yeah, I don't think so, buddy.
yeah. Is aluminum rust? When did that start? Yeah, I think that was a big surprise. I was like, wow. This is amazing because the tailgate really is metal and I stick to the tailgate. That's the only thing.
What year is your truck?
2021.
2021 Chevy Silverado. Plastic doors.
Yep. Everything's plastic nowadays.
All right. Okay. So tonight, Scott, neither one of you guys have ever talked to this guy. He's great. Well, no, Scott, you've talked to him because you sat across from him at the AML dinner.
Yeah.
And he's the guy. He's Keith Revell from Revell Models in Edmonton, Alberta, who we already heard him say aluminium.
Yeah.
Did you look at his website?
I did.
Yes.
Holy mackerel, eh?
Is it not amazing?
This is the guy that started making models by Googling it.
I know. He's just an amazing man.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Scott, Keith. So what's new at the old KR Revell Models factory?
We've just opened the order book on our skeletal logging trucks.
The what book?
The order book.
The order book. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I thought he said odor, like as in.
No. No.
Oh, I can hear your wife sitting there too.
I know. I told her to shut up, but apparently not.
Yeah, she doesn't listen very well.
And she's laughing a lot too.
I think she's laughing. Yeah.
Yeah, is she laughing at us or with us?
Oh, definitely at me.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
Wow.
So all right. So these skeleton. So it's these skeleton trucks now? These logging cars.
Yeah.
So now you're making those.
Yeah, because it complements the Shay really well. We only got them the week before the Rocky Mountain Train Show in Denver. So they were very well received by the visitors and public that wandered through, because obviously that's a big, logging and lumber modeling area. So to have the Shay there and the logging trucks, yeah, they definitely went down a storm.
So did you actually have like versions of them, like built versions?
Yeah. We had two samples on display with our homemade logs as well.
Okay, you got homemade logs?
Yeah. We've made resin style logs to go on the logging trucks.
Oh, really?
Are they on the website?
Yep.
Let me look at that.
Yep. Under products, go under HO scale, and then you'll see the logging trucks. And I think there's 4 or 5 pictures on there.
But the logs are on there as well?
Yep.
All right, I see.
Oh yeah, wow, that is cool.
I see the trucks. I don't see pictures of the logs. Oh yeah, I see. I guess I see a model. Oh, okay, there you are. So
cool?
How much are you selling these cars for?
So the plain car alone is $60, and then it's $75 with the logs.
With 2 logs? How many logs do you get?
You can either have a 3 log or a 6 log.
A 3 log or a 6 log?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
what are those logs made out of? Like a plastic
resin. Oh, okay. Plastic resin.
Wow.
Plastic resin.
So they're from a mold then, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is all done in China.
Yep.
Because you Googled them.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the amazing part. That's the part's hard to believe, you know?
That is the part that's
I think I'll make a model. Let's Google, see who can do that for me.
Yeah. And he just finds these guys. It's just amazing.
I know. I was trying to get a straight answer out of him last time. And all he kept saying,
wonder if we're getting a straight answer.
I don't know. I don't know. So did you have the Shay with you at the Denver, the Rocky Mountain Train Show?
Yeah. We had the Shay running on our rolling road with the sound decoder in it, and I mean everyone loved it. We could, they could see all the gearing working on the side, and listening to the sounds as well from the Lock Sound 5 decoder.
Right, and so how many Shays do you have that are built and running?
We have 2 that are fully functional. The first sample that we had a few issues with it, so that's a non-runner, but it makes a good static model.
Right. So what? So it just didn't work very well, and then they made some adjustments, and now you've got one that actually runs.
Yeah. We've done nearly 90 hours of track testing with it without issue.
So you had a small layout at the show? And
no, we had a rolling road. So basically, it just sits on rollers, and it can be fully functional on there.
Right, I know. Yeah.
Wow.
Where did you get that? This rolling road?
Bought it in the UK.
Okay. Have you ever seen one of those, Bruce?
They're very popular in the UK for setting up and testing. A lot of them are set up for testing steam locomotives, but you can set them up for diesels as well. Adjust the rollers.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Scott?
I have one for the live steam. It's perfect for that.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Where'd you get it for? Where'd you get it?
From the UK, actually. Really and truly, I did. That's where the thing came from. I can't remember the name of that company, but it really did come from there.
And how did you figure that out? How did you figure
a guy that I'm friends with in the steam, live steam world, he had ordered it for me.
Okay. Yeah. So this guy ordered it for you.
Yep.
So when do you?
I had a guy.
You had a guy. Yeah, you got a guy.
Yeah.
So what's the total for the Shay with sound? Is that $449 then?
Yeah.
Okay. And when do you expect delivery of that?
Right now, we're set on schedule for late fall, early winter.
Really?
Yeah.
I still am having trouble believing this.
So that'll be just in time for Springfield again, won't it?
Oh yeah. We'll have the full, obviously the full production, models available for Springfield in 2023.
So how many models have you actually delivered so far?
We've just finished a run of 6,000 freight cars in the UK.
Right.
They've just been delivered. We delivered the second production run of the GT3, which is another UK model. We've got a diesel locomotive that's due for delivery in the later part of Q2. Hopefully before we hit summer. And then we've got another little freight car that's due for delivery around the same time.
So the diesel is for the UK as well?
Yeah.
So you haven't delivered anything to North America yet?
No, the Shay will be our first one, as I say, late fall. I don't think the logging trucks won't be far off. We're just sorting out the artwork now as to how they're going to be painted before production starts. So they might actually be ahead of the Shay.
Really? That's what I keep saying, Scott.
That's mind-boggling.
It's something. That's what I keep saying, Scott. Is
Yeah, because you have to ask him the question: how long's he been doing this?
Well, why don't you ask him,
Keith? How long have you been building models? How long have you been in business building models?
We started in 2018 in the UK with the launch of the GT3, the English Electric GT3, which is a gas turbine locomotive. And people said we were nuts. You're not going to do it. You have no background.
Yeah, because tell them what you were doing before you were a model builder.
I was an over-the-road long-haul truck driver.
There you go.
a long-haul truck driver?
Yeah,
thinking about building models. That's making a living doing that. That just absolutely.
I know the whole thing just absolutely floors me.
Yep.
And trying to figure this all out is just it hurts my brain.
It hurts mine as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's got the shipping down like it's no problem.
Oh, do you? Does he?
Oh, yeah, that's
says,
easy.
Yeah.
Was this all pre-show chatter before I arrived?
Yeah, you
missed all the banter beforehand.
Oh, that's good. I always enjoy that. That's one of my favorite things is when I miss all the good stuff that doesn't show up on the show. So what is it about the shipping, Scott, that was getting you excited?
Well, he just knows how to get around the it can't be done kind of stuff. Like we can't do it. He can get it done. He knows the right buttons to push to get his shipment from wherever to wherever.
Right. So what you've actually delivered so far is a freight car to the UK, 6,000 copies of a freight car, you said?
Yeah.
And the GT3, which was a prototypical or a locomotive that was never built but designed.
It was built. They only built the one as a prototype.
Right.
But it was scrapped as uneconomical in 1966.
There was a steam or a diesel locomotive?
Neither. It was a gas turbine.
Oh, okay.
So it ran on kerosene.
So you've delivered that twice now?
Yeah. Two full production runs of that, and we won 3 awards for it as well. Reader's Choice Awards.
Oh yeah. And what magazine?
Model Rail, Hornby magazine. We got first prize in both, and British Railway Modelling magazine. We won the bronze prize. All voted by the readers.
Well done.
Yeah.
Yep. Not bad for our first model.
No, that's for sure. How many of those did you make, this GT3?
We delivered over 3,000.
Okay.
Wow.
Between the two runs.
What makes that model so popular if it was never actually produced?
Because it's just one of those iconic locomotives that everybody kind of wanted, but none of the big manufacturers, fancied taking it on. Well, we were just mad enough to do so.
Okay.
It's that English, being eccentric Englishman.
So what about American freight cars? Where are you with that? Because I see you've got them on your expression of interest. Have you ever heard of that, Scott?
Yeah, I have not heard of it, but I think it's pretty cool.
Expression of interest.
Yep, expression of interest.
All of our products that are available for expression of interest. An expression of interest requires no payments or monetary commitment at all. Simply fill out the form to register your interest and receive updates regarding the products you have signed up for. So, do you think so there's 4 freight cars on your North American page?
Yeah.
And do you think you're going to go ahead and make all of these?
I don't see any reason why not. I mean, there's definitely a demand for them. We got a lot of positive feedback on our booth because people were pointing at the various freight cars that we were advertising, and people were saying, oh yeah, you need to make that, or if you make this, I'll buy loads of them. So yeah, we got a lot of extra interest on the expression of interests after the train show. So yeah, it's it definitely works. I mean, it's like it says, there's no commitment. So if you're interested in reading more as we move along with the project, then it's the only way of doing it, and it also gives you a barometer to feel the market out to find out exactly what the likelihood of having a customer base if you produce the thing. So
you've had a pretty good showing of people being interested in these.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the proof of the pudding in that was not only the Shay and the logging car, but the logging truck, but the all the other models that we've produced.
Right.
So these 4 freight cars that are on your page, there's a ballast car, plastic pellets car, the small cube closed hopper, and aggregate hopper car. These are all. What's the interest in these cars?
The little small one right now, on the small cube closed hopper car, that's it seems to be our most popular one so far.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Okay,
and is there a tipping point when you decide, okay, we're going to go ahead and produce a car X, or?
Well, yeah, because even if each person that signs up only buys one, that's the minimum commitment that you're ever going to get. I mean, you will lose a certain amount anyway after you've sent them an email and said, hey, we're in a position to take orders, and then after that, basically, you watch people pre-order them, and no one wants to just order one freight car.
Right. What is your expected price point on the small cube hopper?
We're anticipating right now somewhere between $45 and $53.
Wow,
that's right in line. Then
that's reasonable.
Because you've Googled the manufacturing company, and what do you do? Like Google how much it's going to cost or something?
Yeah, I do. Well, do that.
The factories that we have, you send them the drawings, they'll come back with a quote,
right?
And then I have a spreadsheet that you type in all the parameters, and it spits out how many you need to make to break even.
Okay. And do you have a problem telling us? Just say we're for the small cube hopper. I mean, don't tell us if you don't want to. Do you know what the break even point is for that one yet?
Well, I mean, right now steel prices are fluctuating that much that we're just waiting for a fresh quote to come back. But we still think it should be in around that ballpark figure.
Did you say steel prices are fluctuating?
Yeah, I mean, because China's the largest producer of steel right now.
What has steel got to do with an HO scale plastic hopper car?
For all the tooling parts when you make all the injection molding units.
Oh, okay. And you learned this on Google, of course.
Of course. Where else?
That just amazes me.
You know what?
Was it an accident you Googled that, or was it on purpose?
That's right.
It was on purpose. I mean, how else? I mean, the only other way you would have done it was to pick up a phone book.
Yeah, and they don't have those anymore.
So, what kind of truck did you drive before when you started doing this?
It was a 379
Peterbilt.
Yeah.
And where did you mostly drive to and from? Was it just all over, or did you have a kind of a specific run, or
dedicated route?
I had a dedicated run. We called it the Triangle. So it was Alberta down to southern Texas, then across to Toronto, and then back across Canada back into Alberta.
Okay.
6,600 miles.
What did you carry? Like boxcars?
It was a reefer.
Okay.
So Alberta beef down into Mexico, and then either cookies, fresh fruit and veg, carpet, would you believe, out of Mexico up to Canada.
Yeah.
So one day you're driving your Peterbilt across Missouri towards Toronto, and all of a sudden, out of the clear blue sky, you get this idea that, you know what, I'm going to start manufacturing HO scale locomotives and freight cars.
Something like that, yeah. sat in a truck stop with my feet on the dash, thinking there's got to be a better life than this.
Yeah.
Okay. How long were you driving?
I came over from the UK in 2009 as a long haul truck driver. Did that until 2012 when I got my permanent residency status, and then got an office job. And then with the downturn of the economy, the company I worked for got merged with another company, and then they had a management reshuffle and reshuffled my ass right out the door.
Right.
And then I got back on the road back in 2015, and 2018 I thought, I've had enough of this. I want to go and do something else.
Right. So you Googled how to make freight cars. I mean, I'm fascinated by, and I think I said this the last time I interviewed you, so many times, not like, you know who we should have had on here, Bruce, with us?
No, who?
Lauren James.
Oh, there you go.
Because he's starting to manufacture cars too.
He is, yes.
I mean, we're actually living in a day and time when you can Google how to start a business. That's pretty spectacular.
Yeah. Yeah.
The internet. It's brought all of us modelers together, and now we're learning how to manufacture.
I know. And but it's not just that. Like, you're getting it done. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
getting it done.
Yeah.
And with your expressions of interest.
Thousands of models later.
Yeah, well, yeah. Like, so far, you've actually delivered 9,000 models.
Yep.
So you got to be pretty proud of that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Not to mention the awards that we won as well.
Well, yeah. But I'm more impressed with the fact that you've actually done it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just something he's talking about anymore. He's actually doing it.
Yeah.
Well, we had a surreal moment at one of the train shows last year. We were just coming up to our 3rd anniversary of being in business, and we had 7 prototype models on display in various stages of development and manufacture. 7.
Wow.
I would say that would have been.
Since then, we've added another 3 to the catalogue.
And what are the 3 you've added?
So we've added a Hunslet. You call them switches to the family. They're beautiful, really weighted, very nice switches. They are on a steel foundry factory in the UK. They were made in 1970, and they're still running today. So they pull around a pair of 250-ton torpedo wagons full of molten iron ore.
So which would you say is your more vibrant market, the UK market or the North American market?
There's a lot more players in the North American market. So the UK market has been very complacent, I think, over the last 20, 30 years, where they can just, bring out the old tools, make up a new batch of models, different colors, and say, hey, we haven't released this for the last 7 years. We're bringing it out again with the same old flaws that we used to have before. So then myself and, a couple of other manufacturers in the UK have basically upped the ante by producing far better detailed quality models than previously. So, we definitely have a substantial footprint now in the UK European market, and we're in the process with the Shay and the logging trucks to carve out a similar niche here in North America.
So, do you have any idea of how many of these Shays you might produce? Can you tell me that? Would you tell me that, or you feel like you don't want to, or?
Well, I mean, we're on course for making a couple of thousand in our our first production run. And I think once they get out there into the marketplace and people have actually thumbed them and reviewed them and used them and, been so pleased with them that we'll end up making a second production run, just like we did with the GT3.
Right. Yeah, well, if they run, people will be thrilled with them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And the price complete with DCC is certainly very attractive for Shay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
$449.
Yeah.
$449 with sound.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a really good price. And if you're really successful with these Shays, will you do other Shays, or have you thought about that far ahead?
We're trying to work on the engineering to get them down to the HON3.
Okay.
If we can get the mechanics to work, it's looking doubtful right now. But I still keep cattle prodding the designer to come up with a solution. He hates me right now.
And
Well, did you not tell him about Google?
Yeah, he's having to use that to find out what the hell we're talking about, because he has no idea on how big the HON3 market is here in North America.
Well, let me ask you this one, okay? What about S scale?
There you go. Here we go.
Yeah, the S stands for specialized.
No, it stands for the
Scott
scale, the best scale in ever.
Scott scale. There. Scott scale.
Scott scale. It's the Scott scale.
So how many shows have you attended with your stuff? Just the Rocky Mountain show? I know you came to Springfield, but your stuff didn't show up.
Yeah, our display crate arrived 2 days after the show closed. So we just hoofed it over to Denver and put it into storage for 2 months.
Okay, so you sent it from there over to Denver.
Yeah, and then it's now back in Canada. We're doing a train show in Toronto at the end of this month.
Oh, are you?
And then we're down at the NORA show in August.
What is the train show in Toronto you're doing?
It's called the Great British Train Show in Brampton.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When is that, Bruce?
It's every second year. We've been to one of those.
I know, but do we have a date? Do we know when it is?
April 30th, May 1st.
I'll be in Florida then, because I would have gone to see him. Holy mackerel!
Change your plans.
No, I'll be in the spring training office. I got to sweep up after spring training is over.
Yeah, it's a mess now.
Yeah, it's like there's popcorn wrappers everywhere, and
he's left Don too long alone.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is great. I think this is just the greatest that you've done this. I just and I mean, I don't feel like I know, like I don't expect you to answer questions that you don't want to, but it's just. I know I said this before, but it seems like the model railroad manufacturing business is so secretive, and yet here you are, you've just started doing it and seem to be doing it relatively well. Like what's the probably, what has it been, like a year since last time we talked to you?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, coming up to about a year anniversary, somewhere around there, yeah.
Okay, so in the last year, what has surprised you the most?
Just the response that we've had from modelers and customers directly. How well the models that we've produced are. The quality that we produce. And everybody's thrilled to bits with what we've produced.
Oh, somebody's saying something to you, or somebody's saying, "Oh, so that's Bruce's house. That's Bruce's studio." So you're thrilled with the response that you've gotten. You're surprised that you're doing as well as you are.
Oh yeah, I mean that 3 years, 3.5 years ago when we started this, did I ever imagine that we would be as busy as we are?
So what have you learned about? So have you always been a model railroader?
Oh yeah, I've always had a fascination with model trains and had one as a kid, and
right.
Then you discover beer and women, and then your model railroad takes a bit of a backseat, and then you have kids, and then they fly the coop, and then you kind of got all this spare time because you've done all your drinking and your partying days are over, so you got to think of something else to do. So then you go back to model railroading.
Right. And do you mind if I ask how old of a gentleman you are?
I'm a youthful 53.
Okay, so you got a lot of years of model railroad retail ahead of you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We're here for the long haul.
Do you have a layout?
We do. Yeah, we have a substantial one in the office.
Okay.
How long have you been in that office now?
Now I think we're coming up for 2 years now, I think.
And did you have investors help you with this, or you just went to the bank and said, guess what I'm going to do?
No, we didn't do either of those. I had some savings saved up, and I basically invested everything into the model train show that we went to launch in the UK.
Right.
And that secured me the drawings for the GT3 and the ability to promote it. And then basically it all kind of snowballed after that. The bank manager loves me because I didn't have to go in cap in hand and say, hey, I need $300,000 to go and make a train. And by the way, I've got no customers yet.
So were you scared? Were you scared silly when you first took the plunge?
It was pretty daunting, but, it's proved fruitful with the level of support we've had from customers, and because my son works for me as well, so we make a good team. So I'm not doing this all on my own.
Right, sure, I understand. Yeah, I understand that. Do I have to make an account here in order to buy one of these Shays?
Well, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, okay. New customer, register account. By creating an account, you'll be able to shop faster, be up to date on order status, and keep track of the orders you have previously made.
Yep.
There you go.
Wow.
Because I said I'd
probably get a certificate.
Yeah, but he's no table master, I can tell you that.
No.
I love that, table master. That sings. Bruce, could you please make that certificate, please, so we get that? So
I'll be working on it later.
All right. So then you can hang that up on your wall, Scott, and it'll constantly remind you that you're the official AML Nation table master.
I'm not sure how Kristen, my girl at the office, is going to take that.
And you got to realize, there's only ever going to be one table master. There's not going to be several table masters.
Yeah, there's not even. Okay, yeah.
It's the original table master.
The original.
Now, if you choose to have some assistant table masters, that'll be up to you. But
we got to come. It's not going to be assistant table masters. We got to come up with a better name than that.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll be up to you because of you.
Okay, I'll figure all that out.
Yeah, okay. Because we're going to have 3 tables now at Springfield. Oh, yeah. So, Keith.
Yep.
So next year, I've been John Sacerdoti, the fellow that runs the show, has been kind enough to say that I can now have the 3 tables that City Classics has had for the last 30 years, and we can kind of carry on the tradition of City Classics that's been there for 30 plus years. So what I'm planning on doing is we have our 3 tables. We're just a podcast. We'll have our photos up and our cheese balls and all that stuff. But there's going to be room for some manufacturers to, display 1 or 2 of their models. So plan on, having one of your Shays or one of your freight cars on there with a little sign that, the directing people where to go in the show. So plan on that.
Awesome. Yeah. Looking forward to that. Yeah, we've already had the invite to attend the Springfield show for 2023. So, yeah, we're already gearing up for that.
All right. I bet you are.
Yeah. And by then he'll have some American models to
that's right.
sell.
By then you'll have some American models to show and sell. And if you need any help when you're setting up, I can loan out the official AML Nation table master.
Yeah.
You're going to pimp him out.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far.
Yeah.
So what did you think of our dinner? What did you think of Scott and me and the gang you were sitting with over there?
Awesome. Yeah, great conversations. Yeah.
How's your is that fella still working for you that was there?
Robert? Oh yeah. He was down at Denver with us and he was chatting away with customers and guiding them in the right direction of the Shay and handing out leaflets. So yeah, we worked him pretty hard for 2 days.
Why do I got to fill in my telephone number? You're not going to start calling me, are you?
3 a.m.
Yeah. What do you want?
Just like Otter Valley, they're going to call you up at 3 a.m. Are you sure you still want the Shay?
Yeah. What do I got to put in my phone number for, Keith?
Well, that it's for the carrier. So you get text updates when your model's on its way.
Oh, text updates. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Go.
All right. Okay. All right. Then I'll put in my phone number. But don't be giving it out to everybody.
I've got it anyway, Lionel. You know that.
I know, but I was just like, All right. What else should we be asking them, guys? I mean, what else do you want to tell us about what's going on with Revell KR Metals? Because I want to check in with you on a semi-regular basis, like we're doing today. So I mean, we don't have to,
We're working on some very exciting models right now. So one of the things that we've got in the works is a motorized track maintenance equipment. So we're hoping to bring out a full range of these eventually at some point. The likes of your 350s and all kinds of, and they'll actually run on the rails as well, not just be static models that you got to push around.
So what kind of what exactly is this? What exactly is this equipment? Just so people understand, because not everybody will be understanding what you're talking about.
Yeah. So in as you've seen, like North America, you'll see guys run around in 4 350s or 250s with the rail extensions, and then they can drive on the rail to go and do track surveys and maintenance and things. And then you get the big, Freightliners or Western Stars that also, pull around freight cars for when they do track maintenance.
Okay, so now you're going to make and how did you get to? So who's helping you with that? Because are you using using like a model to begin with, or somebody's going to build those whole things the same way as the Shay?
We actually got sent a bunch of drawings from the manufacturer that actually converts standard vehicles for use on the railway.
The prototype.
Yeah.
Like the full size. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's revisit that. Yeah. So these freight cars are from, what is it? American. What is
Freight Car America?
Freight Car America, and the actual company. And let's review. So you called them up and asked them for their drawings, and they just said sure, because you're going to make HO scale versions of them.
Yeah.
And now you've got the drawings from the company that makes the full size track vehicles.
Yes.
They just handed them right over, just like That's really
because we're not competition. We're actually complementing them because we're replicating what they produce in full size in miniature form.
Here's what I often think, Scott, and Scott, we try to be as transparent here as possible, don't we? At the old AML Nation,
undoubtedly,
absolutely,
yeah.
Yep.
So here's what I keep thinking to myself: what's the deal with this guy?
I don't know. I'm sitting there just thinking, I don't know.
You're just thinking how you can talk him into S scale. That's what you're thinking.
Yeah, I was thinking about how to get some of those maintenance equipment in S scale.
What's the name of the company that makes the maintenance equipment?
Well, I can't divulge that, obviously.
Oh, okay. Why not? I'm not. I don't mean why not. I don't mean as a smart ass remark. I mean like as in, the American Freight Car Company or what Freight Car America he had no problem telling us the name of that. Like, why is the company doesn't want to be I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're at early stages with it.
Okay. So you don't want to say the name and have somebody do an end around and get in behind you. Okay, I understand.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Wow, those won't be too popular.
No, absolutely not.
Not at all.
Yeah, not at all.
I mean, there's been static models of them where, a bit like your Matchbox or the, Hot Wheels style models, but these will actually run DCC.
Right.
It would be easier to build those in S scale.
Oh, obviously,
Just saying, yeah.
Easier still to build them in O gauge. So, but I mean, to build them in HO,
gauge, I'd rather go S. But you do what you have to.
Okay, so I'm at the billing details. Like I've got an account now, and now I got to fill out my name and everything again. There's something funny going on here. I'm telling you. Well, where should I? Probably cheaper to have this shipped to. Would it be cheaper for me to have this shipped to the spring training residence in Florida, or would it be cheaper to have it shipped to the Canadian residents?
It doesn't make any difference. We've got warehouses in the US and Canada.
I'm sure you do all across America. Hey, can I ride with you in the Peterbilt when you're hauling that's what you ought to do, is one day rent a Peterbilt and haul like a 40-footer across North America with a load of KR models stuff. That would be fun. We could all pile in the truck.
That would be fun.
Yeah, these cabs are huge now, so like 4 or 5 of us could all pile in the cab.
Exactly.
And ride with them as we go across the North America, delivering Shays and freight cars and logging cars. And who came up with
You'll be throwing beer cans out the window at police cars.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We don't want to give all the secrets away.
Yeah, we don't want to give all our secrets away.
Yeah, really.
Well, in the AML Nation, I mean, we could maybe fly you part of the way. So what was I going to ask you? I was going to ask you something. I can't. How's the sale of the Shays going? Is it robust?
It's been pretty steady since we opened the order book. Absolutely, yeah. And then obviously, when people actually get a chance to see the thing actually running and working, and it's there. It's it's not just a pipe dream. It is physically there.
Yeah.
And you've picked the DCC system you're going to put in it yet? The decoder?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is almost be enough to get you to buy one, eh, Scott?
Yeah, I like these things. I really do.
I can hear his credit card switching already in his back pocket.
Yeah. Just go ahead and push send.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just push send. You'll have the Canadian Pacific Shay on its way to you.
Yeah.
All right, I filled in my address. Now I got to decide where I want it sent. Where do you guys think I should have it sent? To my home, my office?
Just send it to my house.
Yeah.
And then I'll hold it for you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And then when you stop by again, I'll just have it ready for you.
So it sounds like a reasonable solution to me.
Yeah, exactly.
It does.
Yeah, you'll never see it again.
No, I'll never see it again.
Probably not.
That's the last I'll ever see of that.
Uh-huh.
So you really don't think it makes any... So you're going to ship some into Canada, you're going to ship some into the States, you're going to have them available. You already have a warehouse in Canada, in Edmonton, Alberta.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're going to have you're arranging to have somebody in... So you found a freight forwarder in south of the border then, or in the lower 48.
Yeah, we found one in Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good location.
It is.
Yeah, he's pretty centralized because he offers next day delivery into a lot of the eastern seaboard states and into the Midwest, and then 2 to 3 days out as far as California.
And how did you find him? Don't tell me. Let me guess. You Googled him.
Got to start somewhere.
Somewhere, I think he might have went to GoDaddy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah, he might have gone.
He couldn't have done all of that on Google.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Seems it makes us feel like we're just a couple of bumpkins. The three of us just.
It is me for real. I'm like,
okay.
Wow.
So it says, please select your preferred shipping method to use on this order. Shipping options. Rest of the world. 3220. What is that? Rest of the world.
Well, we couldn't specify particular cities or states. So because we're a global shipping company anyway, because we ship globally, it's easier just to have a flat rate and just do it the rest of the world.
Bruce, Scott?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you guys a question and see if you can. I want you to give me an honest answer. If I'm way off base, I want you to be honest with me. Can you do that, Scott?
I'll do it.
All right. When he says the rest of is this guy trying to take over the world through HOs or scale model railroading? Rest of the world.
Yeah, when he's talking about warehouses and different areas, I'm thinking, Amazon.
Like
some kind of takeover.
Yeah, exactly.
Shipping.
Yeah. He doesn't say Europe, North America. He says, all right, rest of the world, I got it covered.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh, now we're getting to the payment method.
Oh, geez.
Pay with debit credit card via Stripe. What's Stripe? Is that some sort of paying company?
Yeah, it's a third-party company that we use to process credit card payments. That way we don't hold any credit card data and we don't have any privacy issues.
So if I choose that, am I paying in full now?
Yeah.
Oh.
You better slow down.
Yeah, I better pull over to the side of the road here and see what's going on.
Yeah,
well, that's why the second option on there is installment plan, so you can spread your cost over 6 months.
And how's that going?
Very well, because it's interest free.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, you must have to give this. Is this a particular company you got to give a percentage to or something? I guess probably.
Yeah, it's a small percentage, but because the percentage is so low, it's worth incorporating. So
okay. All right. So it says add comments about my order. So how about this, guys? I'm going to put in. What's that?
I said, I dread to think what's coming now.
Well, I was going to put in. I was going to put in. Don't screw it up. That's the comments about my order. Don't screw it up.
Are you going to have like a
friends and family discount?
What's that?
There you go.
I said I had one guy put it. Do I get the friends and family discount?
Oh, there you go. So
are you going to have some area of the rest of the world where you do service, or how's that going to work?
We haven't had any issues so far delivering product globally. I mean, we've delivered to Japan, most of Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Fiji.
Yeah, I understand that, but I meant like if you have a defected part or something and you need it repaired, will you have a service center somewhere? Someone can send it back to have it repaired, or how's that going to work?
On the odd occasion where we have had a defective model, we either pick it up. So we'll send you a prepaid label like Amazon.
Okay.
And then you put it back in its box and ship it back to us, and we'll typically either exchange it, see what's wrong with it, because obviously, we need to see why it went wrong, why it failed, so it doesn't happen again.
Well, I mean, unlikely.
Well, that's an important. I'm sorry, I spoke right over top of you there, Scott.
No, you're okay.
All right. I think I'm nervous now because you're the table master. I don't want to get on the wrong side of you.
No. Bad things can happen to those who cross the table master.
Yeah, don't ever cross the table master.
You have no idea what's coming your way.
How do we come up with these cool nicknames, Bruce?
Luck. We didn't Google it. I know that.
Yeah, we didn't Google it. That's for sure. Okay, so now that was pretty cool what you just said there. We don't want to bounce over that without talking about it. So if somebody gets a model from you, locomotive or freight car, whatever, and for some particular reason, once in a while, it doesn't work the way it should, you're going to send a prepaid label so that people can put it back in the box. They're not going to be out of pocket sending it back to the manufacturer.
Correct.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. That shows a lot of faith in your product.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I mean, we robustly test them. The Shays that we've got, they do a full 4 days solid running with load, around the test track in the office, which is far going to exceed any amount of lifetime use it's ever going to get.
And so you've had one, you've been testing it, and now you guys are
confident that it's ready to go.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to be confident in the engineering that it's going to last its lifetime.
Did you, when you were looking for a manufacturer, did you have, like, did one guy say he could do it, and then you went, no, I don't want that guy, and then another guy's like, was there more than one to choose from, or did you have 3 or 4 to choose from, or?
Well, right now we have 3 factories.
Of course you do.
Because one isn't enough to keep up with the amount of models that we're producing.
Of course not. Of course he has 3 factories. Wouldn't you have guessed that, Bruce?
I mean, how did you ask that question?
Well, yeah, exactly. How could I even ask such a question?
Well, no kidding.
Yeah.
But no, did you have to go over there, or have you done everything on Google?
We were planning going over to look at the first factory when we produced our first model, and then COVID hit, and then basically the world ground to a halt for 2 years.
Right. So you've just went ahead messaging, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now it says complete. Oh, now it wants my card number. Okay. Now we're getting down to brass tacks.
Now you're getting to the part where you're about to partake of ownership of a Shay.
Yeah, exactly.
Do the no interest, 0 interest.
The partial payment. You want me to do that?
Yeah, and that way we'll see how that works.
All right, we'll do that then.
Yeah.
We'll put in the number 1199.
Do the last 4 of mine, 3008.
Okay, there you go.
All right, see how that works.
6112.
Do I get some sort of a prize for buying one of these or something?
I will personally hand deliver it to you, Lionel. How's that?
Now we're getting
there
somewhere.
you go.
Now we're getting somewhere.
All right, cool.
You realize that it could potentially involve buying Lionel a meal at the same time, right?
That's true.
Yeah, that's how it works. Well, I'll meet you at
exactly
such and such at 9:30.
Yeah, you might want to talk to Scott about that.
Yeah, he knows all about it.
Yeah, Scott knows all about it.
Yep.
Now it wants my postal code. Oh my goodness gracious! I know the first. It's L9X, but I can never. They changed it. I don't know.
Yours used to be simple. Oh,
mine was really simple.
They actually changed your postal code?
Yeah, they changed it about. And the funny thing about that was this is going back. Well, and I still can't remember what it is now. This is going back 10, 15 years, and they changed the postal code. So, right, I didn't pick up my house and move it anywhere. They changed the postal code, and my house insurance went up by 15%.
Oh, I believe it, but I really have never heard of a postal code changing. That's odd.
Well, there you go. All right. Okay, wait a minute. I got to read. I have, by submitting your order and authorizing the charges on your card, you are legally bound to the following terms.
Here we go.
Yeah, acknowledge that I authorize partially to charge $50 on behalf of KR Models and another $50 to Keith Revell for lunch. Okay, all right, so cool. I should have used my American credit card. I'm going to go back and I'm going to change this and use my American card.
Well, buy me one. Do it with both cards.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, then I got to change the billing address and everything. Well, I'm not going to.
You haven't put your postcode in.
Well, no, I'm not going to use my Canadian card because the Canadian banks just end up jamming you up the yin yang for dollar exchange. It's some sort of so I'll use my American Visa card. All right. So do we have anything else to ask? Do you have anything else to tell us, Keith? Or are we done for today?
No, I'm pretty well. You need to add your postcode on your delivery address.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to go get my American credit card and start again.
Oh, that's great. The price in U.S. dollars or Canadian dollars? I assume U.S. Is it?
It's U.S. dollars. Yeah.
Yeah.
So which is still that's the going rate.
That's a good price. Yeah.
Are you going to have any of these shades undecorated? Like
that's what I'm buying. Yeah, I'm buying.
Yeah, there is.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of modelers have requested that because, they have their own railroads that they model or specific eras or ages or whatever.
Yeah, it makes more sense than that type of modeling, right?
So what has surprised you the most about the model railroad industry?
There hasn't been really any shocks or any kind of eye-openers that I wasn't prepared for.
Is it more vibrant than you thought?
Yeah, I mean, it's, as I say, it's definitely been a sharp learning curve, I have to say. I mean, but just to get some of the engineering to miniaturize as close as we've got it. The fine detail that we're working with, the tolerances, some of that is pretty high scale, to be honest. So, to have the back and forth between the designers before we settle on the CAD work, and then we go into tooling, and then all the parts start coming in, and then you see the sample. It's it's quite amazing to watch, to be honest.
I'll bet it is. I'll bet it is.
Ask him the famous question, Lionel.
Okay. I'm thinking this is the one you're talking about. Is this hobby way bigger than you thought it was? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to see so many customers so far away buying your product and calling you up and saying how pleased they are with it, and it runs so well, and we're really glad you've done this, and just some of the comments that you get, some of the calls that you get, speaking to customers direct, and as we had this at the last train show we did, it's such a great model, you've done really well, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I think this Shay's going to really be very popular. If it runs well, people are going to basically go nuts for this thing.
Well, if you go onto our YouTube channel, there is an updated video of it running on our test track.
Okay, and what's your YouTube channel? KR Models?
Yeah, KR Models, yeah.
All right. So what does your son do in the business? What's his deal?
So he handles any customer service issues. So if you've got an issue with your account, if you've changed bank cards while the payment plan's been working, he does all that, and plus he does shows in the UK as well.
Okay, and who's made your videos? They're pretty professional.
Robert did the filming of that.
Okay, look at that. There it is, running along. Man, pretty cool.
Wow.
All right, now I guess we'll call it a day. This is pretty cool. This will come out in a while. No, I'm glad, and we'll check in with you. We got to check in with you probably in the fall, because that'll be right around the time it's going to be right on the verge of being released, or you're going to be sending out your Shay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Got any more questions, guys, or are we done here?
No, I'm interested to see when these things come out and what the reception is, though. But it sounds spectacular, and that is key.
Yeah, I mean they're lighted. They got DCC. They got sound. They got log cars to pull behind them. They got logs. Man, oh man,
it's just an exciting venture. I mean, it's great.
It is. Okay. I guess we'll call it a day there, because I'm not sure where we're going to put this. We'll probably put it with somebody else. It'll probably be part of an all-star variety hour.
Okay.
There you go.
We'll call it The Table Master is Born.
There you go. Love it.
Okay. All right. Thanks very much, Keith.
Not a problem. Good to speak to you guys.
We will talk to you soon.
We'll see you.
So, Tom, after the intro and you took us into the first segment, what were you eating?
Pop-Tart.
What kind of Pop-Tart?
Chocolate chip.
A chocolate chip Pop-Tart. Ooh, nice.
Just plain out of the package or popping it in the toaster?
Just right out of the tinfoil.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so I have a question for you. This is a bit of a for you. This is a bit of a hard-hitting one.
Okay.
What part of the noon diet or noon diet does it talk about eating chocolate chip Pop-Tarts?
The afternoon.
Everything in moderation.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Everything in moderation. So anyways, we just finished listening to a great segment with our very own Ron Klaiss of Mind Mount Models. Is it okay if I call you our very own Ron?
Sure. That can be other people's too if the check clears, but
sure, yeah, exactly. And then we also
may I interrupt for a minute?
Absolutely.
Just so Tom is aware and everybody else is aware, according to Numi, chocolate Pop-Tart is 201 calories.
Okay.
Well, so it's not outrageous.
It's not outrageous.
Per bite?
No, that's for the thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not outrageous. The key is really, if you're not hungry, don't eat. That's that once you manage to handle that, man, you're off to the races.
I am constantly eating. It's ridiculous.
I know. Well, you're one of those tall, thin guys that guys like me and Tom and Bruce, we actually hate. Yeah.
There's a guy at my work. He says that I have a tapeworm named Frank. A 15-foot tapeworm named Frank. He's like, "Are you feeding Frank?" The other day, I'm going to lunch, and I walk up to Art at Warrenville Hardware, and he goes, "You going to lunch?" I said, "I think Frank has a roommate." Because I'm even hungrier today. So,
my Bruce's and my barber of 40 plus years, mine anyways, of 40 plus years, was as skinny as a rail and ate like a horse. And I mean, I was there one time and he was eating a he would eat when we were playing cribbage afterwards. I miss those games; those were great games. But he would eat while we were eating cribbage, and he'd eat like 3 sandwiches. And I said, "Have you not eaten today?" He said, "Well, yeah, I did a couple hours ago at lunch." And the guy was as thin as a rail. It was so annoying. I said, "Do you realize if I ate as much as you did just for a week, I would gain 20 pounds?" It was very, very annoying. Nice guy, though. I like Mike. I love Mike. I would say
Mike was a great guy.
Mike he still is a great guy.
Yes.
Let's not talk about him in the past.
That's true. Yes.
As far as I know, he's still a great guy. He hasn't changed as far as
I haven't heard anything else.
No. What did you guys think about that K&R Models interview?
Beauty.
Sweet. What did you think, Ron?
I think it's pretty good. I'm excited to see that Shay they have.
I know, me too. I think that's going to be the watermark for these guys. If they can produce a brass Shay that runs, plastic. It's a plastic Shay that runs as good as he claims it does. Man, he'll be beating people away with a stick. That'll make that company just. And that was a question I wanted to ask you, Ron. Are you still taking interview type questions?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm open for discussion.
All right. So tell me, I was talking to somebody the other day. Who was I talking to? Don't tell me. Let me guess. It was either Shane Mason, Scale Trains, or somebody else. No, it was Jim Scores from NCE.
Good guy.
Good guy. Great guy. We interviewed him. And were you there, Bruce?
Yes.
How did it go?
It went well.
All right, good.
We had a good conversation with him.
Yeah, we did. We got to have him on more often. And anyway, and Jim is very, very gracious with my One More Year fund. Extremely gracious. So anyways, we asked him about the growth of the hobby, and he just said it's growing like crazy. Like crazy. What do you, as a new guy to the world of model railroad manufacturing, and you said in your segment, in your interview, that you never imagined that in 3.5 years you'd be where you are. Like, can you get any kind of a handle on the customer base or anything like that?
No, because I get orders all the time from people I don't even know who they are, and they're coming out of the woodwork. And I just started advertising in RMC a couple months ago, and not sure if I'm getting the more people from that or if it's from just putting out the constant material on social medias and Twitters and Instagram, Facebook, YouTube now with the products and everything. I get these people that are just I've never heard of. I don't know where they come from. I'm not sure where they heard about me, but they're finding me. So if they're finding little mount models, then I mean, there's people out there that want stuff and they're just buying things up like crazy.
They're probably finding you from the podcast. Maybe I should be charging you.
From your podcast?
Yeah, from our podcast. Yeah, from this podcast. From this very podcast, I think.
Well, there's 4 of us on this call here, so there's like 3 or 4 other guys that listen. So,
funny guy, eh?
I know Tom and Bruce have bought something from me. So
there you go. Nice. Very nice.
Maybe that's why there's no strand.
Yeah.
No strand kit yet.
Yeah, you got to put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, now wait a minute. I didn't buy anything until Tom's Top Dog existed. So
nice.
That's true.
And is there anything you want to tell the folks now that this is your last time on the show?
That's all, folks.
Yeah, it's probably very hard for you to get any kind of a grip on the hobby because the thing just basically keeps growing and blowing your mind apart. What page is your advertisement on?
Oh, it just came out. RMC. I was just looking at it. June 2022 is the newest one, and Page, where are you? Page. Where?
Page. You should do an article for these guys.
I should, or at least for Tony.
Yeah, exactly. Or for Tony. Yeah, you should do a review for Tony.
Page 29.
Page 29. I'm way past page 29.
June 2022.
I've had a lot of people tell me what a nice job I did talking about Jim Sacco.
Fantastic. I just read that yesterday.
I just read it today. I got my June issue today in the mail, and I read that, and it was very well done.
And it was super easy to write. All I had to do was just talk about stuff I knew about Jim. Super easy to write. Good guy.
It's super easy when it's the truth, right?
Exactly. There's your ad. I found it. Page 29. That's pretty good. I like that.
Thank you, sir.
There you go, right there. And what do they do when they find what do you call the QR code? How does that work?
You just hold your phone up to that, and as long as it's a smartphone that can read QR codes, then it takes you right to my website.
Well, okay, here's the question I have, which nobody's ever been able to come up with a reason why. If I'm looking at your website on my smartphone, how am I supposed to scan the QR code?
Well, if you're looking through the magazine, I have like the QR codes on my business cards and on like paper products that might be in your hand. And if you see my Mind Mount models for the first time, and you have your phone on you, go, oh, cool. I don't have to type in www.mindmountmodels.com. I could just point my phone at the QR code and snap it, and it takes me right to the website.
Yeah, that doesn't. I see this, and I'm looking at the digital edition.
Digital edition. Okay,
I'm looking at the digital edition on my phone. How much? Like the Maple Leaf app has this as well. It's also this great stuff, but you have to scan this QR code. Like, all right,
you have to flip.
How can I scan my QR code to take a picture of it when one camera either points at my face, the other one points at the other way, and nothing pointing at the screen?
You have to flip really fast between the front-facing and the rear-facing camera.
I hope you hit it right
while you're turning the phone around in your hand.
Okay.
You do all that, and then as it turns, the camera will go and it'll catch the code and poof.
Lightning quick.
There's really an art to it.
Apparently, I haven't mastered that yet.
Helps if you're double jointed.
Oh, okay.
But the front-facing camera is the one where you can see yourself.
Yes.
No, that's the rear-facing camera.
No.
That's a front-facing.
No.
Okay. Around the room.
But we digress.
We digress, exactly.
Can we talk about insurance now?
Yes, exactly.
Sure.
Who was I asking? I was asking somebody the other day. My two favorite things ever on the podcast are when Ralph and Bruce were fighting about the front and the rear-facing cameras, and then when we got to going about insurance. And we were arguing about...
I hate to tell you, Chief, that was me.
What?
That you were having that conversation with.
The insurance?
No, about your two favorite things.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
And how did that conversation go?
Made an impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Made an impact on me.
Exactly. When did you say Tom's stock was?
2020.
We had a great conversation the other night. We are stoked about this thing.
Yep.
We are stoked. We're getting to the point now where we're starting to get stoked. We gotta. Tom has gone above and beyond. We might have to come up with a new award, Bruce, for this. Or we'll have to get Kelly involved, though. We'll see if he.
We don't have to.
What's bigger than super?
Did he really do that much? I don't know.
How fast was he going?
Yeah.
I came up with a couple questions. Doesn't that qualify?
He's running the live steamers meeting tonight. Well, of course, yes. He runs everything at the Medford Train Park. We love you, Kelly.
That's really where he lives.
Yeah, I think so.
He's got an air mattress under the benchwork that he sleeps on.
All right, we've killed 11 minutes. We got to get out of here. Hey, Tom, seeing as how you and I had such a great conversation the other day, and I was asking that question, you want to try the email?
Oh, my God. Okay, I will give it a shot. If you're one of those people that wants to use the hip and happening method of email to communicate with us, you can do so by going to the Modelers Life website, which is ModelersLife.com. And you can click on the photo of Bruce Wilson, the moderately agitated mailboy, and that will bring you right to an email. Or if you don't want to do that, you can open up your own email and you can use the email address modelerslife@gmail.com. That's modelers with one L as in Klaiss, not two L's as in Ron Klaiss's Mind Mount Models.
There you go.
Bruce?
Yes.
We throw at the high and the low scores.
Uh-huh.
You have no more scores. That's it.
We're done.
That was a long trip, buddy.
It was a long trip.
I'm exhausted.
Well, on the plus side, you don't have to do your part now.
That's true. No, on the plus side,
you can just talk about the website without having to get into scroll down to the
exactly
the mailboy in a particularly agitated state. You know,
and to be completely fair to the Queso Cowboy, which by the way is the greatest name in all of AML land, to be completely fair, he did get everything correct.
He did.
So I think that's an important thing. It was a long trip. And if we had packed a lunch or something like that, it wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah, we had packed a nice selection of sandwiches and pickles and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been okay. And if you, hey, Ron.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever wanted to have a coffee mug with a hot dog on it?
Absolutely.
Well, if you go to Mind Mount Models, no, don't go there. If you
please go there.
Yeah, go there anyways. If you go to Midwest Model Railroad, and their URL is midwestmodelrr.com, which reminds me, we got to get Chris Brimley back on here from Train Life. But that's why I don't allow anybody to pay for commercials, because wouldn't that be a horrible commercial if you paid for it? And 1 minute,
absolutely,
you know, Scale Trains is paying for a commercial. And we're talking about Scale Trains, and I go, which reminds me, there's something about Rapido I wanted to tell you guys. Yeah. If you go to Midwest Model Railroad and their URL is midwestmodelrr.com, and you go to the navigation bar and scroll all the way over to the right and click on AML, boom, you are in a wonderland of AML merchandise. Hats, hoodies, mugs, T-shirts, whatever you could possibly need.
It's right just there. Rain and merch.
It's rain and AML merchandise.
Merch. But sadly, there's yet to be a mug with the hot dog on it. So
there isn't. You said there was. No. I thought last time we were doing this, you said there was.
No, I said there wasn't. We've got the traditional oval, the microphone AML, the AML coffee stain, the ModelersLife studio mug, but no, alas, no hot dog mug.
No, I thought we had all agreed there was an AML hot dog.
Now to go along with the QR code on the phone and how do you scan it? How do you get a coffee stain ring on the side of a coffee mug?
Not
very
easy.
Carefully.
You know what there's the studio one.
Yes.
Which he said, hey, how about if we did a photo did a sketch of you sitting at a desk with a couch? And I went, and I love Stephen Atwell, the fellow that owns Midwest Model Railroad, along with his dad. Stephen is an awesome guy to know. And he said, hey, how about if we did that? And I went, do we have to? He said, it'll be great. And I went, okay. So there's that mug, but there's no hot dog mug. Okay, we got to get working on that. All right. But I notice Dave Barraza has the ModelersLife desk and couch hoodie.
Yes.
He's a lifelong. We got to get Dave back on here. Man, oh man, there's 17 minutes for this. All right, last thing is, and if you like this podcast, this free podcast, which we can't imagine there is any reason why you would, but if you did enjoy yourself today and you'd like to have twice as much podcasting every week, if you just click on our Patreon link and go to that page on our website, it'll show you all about Patreon. And for just 365 payments of 16 cents a day, boom, you can have twice as much podcasting every week just by joining Patreon. And if you want to get a T-shirt and a bazillion cool stickers, I got building up this sticker collection that we're going to be sending out with the T-shirts. It's very, very cool. Hey, do you have stickers, Ron, for your business?
Oh, yes, I do.
Would you like us to send them out with the AML T-shirts?
I could send you some, sure.
He said enthusiastically.
Hey, I need one for my my storage case, my storage drawer.
Is it like a guitar case where you have all the?
Yeah, that's what it is. I got like about a half a dozen different stickers, and I got the idea when our buddy Josh Bowman made up a sticker for Josh's Ag Repair, which, by the way, is the official sponsor of AML ModelersLife. Is Josh's Ag Repair. If you've got any kind of farm equipment you need repaired, Josh is your guy. He can fix anything. Now,
I got a broken pooper scooper.
The problem is if you're in Iowa and you want Josh to fix it, travel time is going to set you back a bit. But other than that, he'll fix it up for you, no problem. All right, we're out of here. We got to be done. We're finished. This has turned into another epic episode. Ron, are you ready?
Sure.
So remember, a Modeler's Life podcast is considered marginally adequate by 6 out of 10
QR code confused consumers.
Four car crushing action Saturday at the Spectrum. Burning motor coaches battle it out in the mud bog with special guest stars Heather Locklear and Knight Rider Car Kit.
It's another Lincoln Homer.
Nice. I like that. So you don't know how to work a QR code, Bruce?
Not when it's on my phone.
Believe I know exactly what he's talking about.
I don't know.
Yeah, if I'm looking at you need on your phone to take a picture of the QR code.
I got you. If you're looking at guys,
which kills me every time there's something, the Maple Leaf app comes up, just scan the QR code and I go, well, how do I do that?
Yeah, how
you need a second phone.
Exactly. Yeah, you need to carry two phones.
Like Michael Scott in The Office, he had so many pictures of his kids on his phone. He had to get a second phone.
Yeah.